Om Shuklam Bharadharam Vishnum Shashivarnam Chaturbhujam Prasannavadanam Dhyayet Sarvavighnopashantaye Saraswati Namastubhyam Varade Kamarupini Vidyarambham Karishyami Siddhir Bhavatu Me Sada येनाक्षरसमाम्न्यायम् अधिगम्य महेश्वरात् कृत्स्नं व्याकरणं प्रोक्तं तस्मै पाणिनये नमः वाक्यकारं वररुचिं भाष्यकारं पतञ्जलिं पाणिनिं सूत्रकारं च प्रणतोऽस्मि मुनित्रयम् वागर्थाविव सम्पृक्तौ वागर्थः प्रतिपत्तये जगतः पितरौ वन्दे पार्वती परमेश्वरौ ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः हरिः ॐ श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः हरिः ॐ Namaste, welcome to class. So start off with some sandhi that's on the board there. So I mixed up a few different sandhis so that we can just try to get some more natural practice. The first we have iti ataha. Okay, so left side we have ikara, ik, and right side we have a. Okay, so when we have ikara and any vowel on the other side, we get yan sandhi. So if you can see at the bottom of the screen, right? So we have e meeting to then there's going to be the yan sandhi, which we saw last time. We can review quickly after this. E plus a equals ya. So ityataha. Then tatra plus eva. So now we have akara on the left side and h on the right side. We have a on the right side, right? So when we have akara on the left side, it can either be guna or vriddhi. Okay? So guna vriddhi when a is on the left side. When there's anything other than a, for example, e, then it's yan sandhi for now, right? Okay, so we have a on the left side. We know it's going to be guna vriddhi. So how do we know when it's guna versus vriddhi? Guna is when we have ik, e, u, r, l. And vriddhi is h, a, o, I, ow. Okay, so we have here a on the right side. So a plus a is I. So tatraiva, you can see on the bottom of the chart there, right? A plus a is I. So tatraiva. You get a little feather in the cap. Shita plus ushna. So we have akara plus u. So this is either going to be guna or vriddhi. Here we have it's u, which is part of ik, I, u, r, l. So it's going to be guna. So shitoshna. Shitoshna sukha dukkhada, right? Bhagavad Gita, this comes. Astu plus iti. Ukara plus iti. E. So we have u, which is part of ik on the left side, and e on the right side, so which is a vowel. So it's gonna be yan sandhi. So astviti with the vakara. Okay. So just putting these away, we can just see the chart so far. So far this is the chart. Okay, so remember that akara, if akara is on the left, so you want to see what's on the left side first. That's like the main thing we want to grab onto, okay? So we see akara on the left side, you know it's going to be guna or vriddhi, right? We know dirgha sandhi. Dirgha sandhi is easy. So we can just take that for granted that we understand dirgha sandhi. When two letters of the similar looking, they come together, that's dirgha, right? So if akara comes with any other vowel, then it's going to be guna vriddhi. Now, if it's anything other than so ik is on the left side, and you have a vowel on the right side, then you're going to have yan sandhi, which we saw in the last class. So let's quickly look at yan sandhi and then move on. While I'm switching devices, I want to ask one quick question. So if you go to participants on the bottom of your screen, participants, click participants, and you see at the bottom, you can click yes, no. You can click yes or no. So I'm going to ask a question, then you can let me know yes or no. Okay? The question is, do you want to do more yad tad clauses? Yes or no? Do you want to do more yad tad exercises? So you can click yes or no at the bottom of the participants. Okay.
We don't see yes or no, sir.
You don't see yes or no?
No,
if you hit
all
participant.
Yeah, I did. All I see is invite and alt I.
Okay, so maybe it's not on your device. So that's okay. You can let me know right now. Yes or no? Okay, great. Let's quickly look at yan sandhi for a second before we go to those clauses. Right, this is what we were just seeing. When I have ik on the left side, with meaning with any vowel, ach, then you're going to get yan sandhi. So when e meets a vowel, you're going to get yakara. When u meets a vowel, you're going to get vakara. When r meets ach, any vowel, you're going to get rakara. Okay, so these are the three variations that we see. Okay, so it looks like most people do want to go ahead and do a little bit more yad dad. So we'll do a little bit more yad dad. So let me do that. Okay, so if you can open up your book, this is exercise number 17. No, that is not correct. It is exercise number, let me find it here. Exercise number 21 in the back of your book. Relative pronouns and neuter. We've seen some of these. This is on your page 179, page 179. Let's skip all the way to number 4. From 4 onwards, they get much more difficult. So we're going to do a few of these, and you can let me know how they go if you have any questions, okay? Now, because we've seen yad dad in masculine, these get more complex, these exercises in neuter, just so we know that, okay? So they're going to be a little bit more complex. One second. Okay, so on number 4, we see Purushaha yat karyam karoti tena ishvaram archati. So the basics of yat and tat is that we want to find our yat and we want to find our tad clause. Okay, so we see yat here and we see tad here. All right, it could be declined. That's okay. So our tad clause is this phrase and our yad clause is this phrase. Notice how yat doesn't have to be the first word. Okay? Doesn't necessarily have to be that first word that's there. Now, the Yad clause gives more information about what this tad is. Okay. So let's look at our I know here they start with Yad clause, but let's actually start with tad clause. Okay, that's our main clause. So we'll pick up the verb first, archati. Archati, which is arch dhatu, 1P to worship, right? Lat lakara kartri prayoga, third one. So it's active voice. So it's he, she, it worships, right? Something is worshiping, worships, active voice. Okay? Now, what is the karta of the sentence? We're not sure. We can use purushaha. It might go with that. So let's try purushaha. So purushaha, a person worships. Okay, let's just say we can supply saha. Saha will also work, but we already have a tad in this, right? So we might as well just use the purusha. So something worships. Now worships what? Worships Ishwaram. Okay, so someone is worships Ishwaram. Ishwara akaranta pullinga 2-1. Okay, if we're in Kartri Prayoga, the 2-1 is going to be, what's my vibhakti artha? Karmani Ditiya, right? So this is object. So Karmani Ditiya to Archati. So person worships Ishvara. Tena. So notice how I'm going from verb to first case, then right to left, right? So tena. Tena. Tad shabda, dakaranta, sarvanama shabda, napumsakalinga means that. We're in 3-1. Now, if we're in Kartri Prayoga, what can be the vibhakti artha? You can tell me in the chat what can be vibhakti artha for this 3-1 here. So so far we know person worships Ishwara. Tena. It would not be Kartri Tritiya because Kartri would be in 1-1. The first case is the karta in Kartri Prayoga, right? So third case will not be the karta. Okay. So there's a few answers that are coming in. So I see either Heto Tritiya or I see Karane Tritiya, and I also see Karmani Tritiya. Okay. So let's look at, so there is no Karmani Tritiya, so we can cross out that one, but Heto or Karane, right? Okay, so Karane, or so Heto would be because of that, right? So the person worships Ishvara because of that. That very much might be the case, right? So we can hold on to that, or it can be by that. Okay, so either way, you can use by that or because of that. So let's just hold on to that for now. Okay, we don't exactly know. Now let's look at our Yad clause. Okay, so we know the first part of the clause is Purusha Yat Karyam Karoti. So Yat Karyam Karoti. So we pick up Karoti, right? We pick up a verb. So notice that they're almost like two sentences. Okay, you treat them almost like two sentences. So we pick up the verb here, Karoti, Krit dhatu, to do. Now, this is again, right? Lat lakarha kartri prayoga, third one. It's active voice because we see ti, we don't see yakara, or we don't see atmanepada. Let me know if I'm going too fast or if you forget some of these things that I'm saying. Right, this is just like bhavati, asti, but karoti, okay? Lat kartri prayoga, third one. So someone does. Who is the first case? 1-1, purushaha. So the purusha, akaranta pullinga, meaning person, our first case singular, which is kartri pratama to karoti. Right? They also say that it could be kartri pratama to archati. Okay, so you could have a same karta for two different verbs, just so we know that. So person does. A person does purusha karoti, and then yat karyam. Yat karyam. We can either take karyam first or yat. Here, let's just go with yat. Yat is, right, dakaranta sarvanama shabda napumsakalinga, meaning which, that which. Right? Yat can be either, it can be 1-1 or 2-1. But we know person does. We wouldn't say that which person does, right? That we don't, I mean, it could go with purusha potentially, but here it's going with karyam. So this is going to be 2-1. Karmani ditiya. It's an adjective to karyam, but karyam is karmani. It's karmani ditiya to karoti, right? Does which karyam. So here it's an adjective to karyam. So notice that it could be an adjective to purusha if we want it to be 1-1, but here they're making the decision that it is adjective to karyam. Okay, so far we know a person worships Ishvara because of that or by that. By that. And then this part of the phrase, a person does which karyam. Okay, now let's look at karyam. Karyam means karya, akaranta napumsakalinga, 2-1, karmani ditiya to karoti. This says word, it should say work. W-O-R-K. So this is a typo. This is a typo, it should say work. W-O-R-K. Okay, so just note that. So, and it's karmani ditiya to karoti. So far we have a person does which work or which task. In English, we would maybe say task or job. Okay, so person does. So a person worships Ishvara by that work. So if we want to do it if we want to just go left to right, it's actually quite hard. So if we take it like this, let me show you how they take it. So that which work a person does, by that he worships Ishvara. So let me break this down a little bit more. Okay, which work a person does. Yat karyam purushaha karoti. Right, this is our yad phrase. Yad karyam purushaha karoti. Which work a person does, tena, they take it as karane tritiya, by that work, he worships Ishvara. Okay, so yat karyam Purushaha karoti, that work which a person does. Tena, by that. Purushaha Ishwaram archati. Now, how we would write this in normal English, we would use commas, right? So we would say that, comma, which a person, so by that, comma, which a person does, right? So by that, comma, which, it wouldn't really work like that either. This phrase is a little bit awkward in English. I'm just noticing that, right? It works really well in Sanskrit, but in English it is a bit awkward. And so we recognize that. The idea here is that the person worships Ishvara by their actions, right? This is karma yoga. Any questions so far? So yat is an adjective of karyam, and hence it is 2-1. Yeah. So it is an adjective, it's qualifying karyam, and it is 2-1. There's a question in the chat. So notice I'm making it a little bit more complicated because I'm going word by word, but once we get a hang of this, it becomes much more easier. You just have to catch your yat clause, translate, and tad clause and translate. So let's do one more. One or two, let's see. Okay. Yaihi purushaha padhyate tesham dukkhanam upashamaha ishyate. Okay, these are longer sentences, much more complex sentences now that we have relative clauses and main clauses. So first thing we want to catch are yad and tad. Do you see them? Yeah, thumbs up. You see your yad and tad clause? Okay, so yad is going to be up till this verb. And your tad clause is going to be from tad, tesham to ishyate. Okay, just to change it up a little bit, you can always go tad clause first. I tend to like to do that, but just to change it up, let's start with this yad clause, which is at the beginning. Okay, so first we want to pick up the verb like everything else. And the verb here is badhyate. Bad dhatu, 1a, to bind. Notice how in English, word bind seems to come from the same dhatu, bad. I like that. Now, is this lat lakara? Is it, what prayoga is it? Can you tell me in the chat which prayoga? And we know it is third one, like ishyate. Yep, so there's some answers coming in. We see two things. We see it's atmanepada, and we also see yakara. So it's going to be karmani prayoga. Karmani prayoga, third one. All right, so now we always want to go with the 1-1. Notice how Medaji went with the third case, but let's go with the 1-1. Okay, so badhyate. Now 1-1 is purushaha. Okay, purushaha badhyate. Purusha akaranta pullinga 1-1. Okay, now we're in karmani prayoga. So first case is going to be kartari pratama or karmani pratama. It's going to be yeah, it's going to be karmani prathama. Okay, if we're in karmani prayoga, it's going to be karmani prathama. So, bound. What is bound? The purusha is bound. The person is bound. Okay, the person is bound. Now, yaihi. Yaihi. Yad shabda, dakaranta sarvanama shabda, napumsakalinga. 3-3. Now we're in karmani prayoga. Now third case in karmani prayoga can be kartari. Right? When we're in karmani prayoga, third case can be the doer, the object. I mean, sorry, the doer. Third case can be the doer of action. Kartari. So we remember that? That was a long time ago that we talked about that. In karmani prayoga, third case can be the doer, and that happens a lot. So far we know the person is bound by which? So the binding agent is this yaha. So person is bound by which objects, right? We don't know, there's multiple of them. It's plural. Okay, so now let's look at the second phrase. Tesham dukkhanam upashammatha ishyate. So we pick up the verb ishyate. Ishyate, ish dhatu, 6p, to desire, to wish. Notice atmanepada and yakara. So it's going to be karmani prayoga, lalakara karmani prayoga, prathama purusha ekavachanam. Right? Third person singular. So it's going to be someone desire or wishes. Or sorry, is desired or wished, right? It's karmani prayoga, not, yeah, desired or wished. Okay, what is desired? Upashamaha. Our first case, we always go to the first case. Here the first case is upashamaha. Upashama, akaranta punlinga, like Rama, 1-1. And we're in karmani prayoga, right? Ishyate is karmani. So our first case is going to be karmani, right? Karmani prathama. It's going to be the object. Karmani prathama to ishyate. So the upashama is desired. Okay, upashama means resolution or the end. So here you'll see they translate as resolution. So resolution or removal. Okay, so resolution is desired. Resolution of what? Tesham dukkhanam. Tesham dukkhanam. Okay? Tesham tad dakaranta sarvanama shabda napumsakalinga 6-3. Notice how it says kartari tritiya. This is sixth case, so this is a typo here. Okay? It should say it is a adjective to dukkhanam. Okay, it's an adjective to dukkhanam. So resolution of that is desired. Of that what? Dukkha. Akaranta napumsakalinga 6-3. Vibhaktyartha. Can we guess what's a vibhaktyartha? What's the most common vibhaktyartha of sixth case? And you don't have to say to what. Yep. So I'm seeing sambandhe. Yep, most common for sixth case is sambandha shashti to upashamaha, right? Because we're talking about the resolution of dukkha. So it's connected to upashama. So the resolution of those dukkhas is desired. Now those is described here. Those by which a person is bound. So if we to use commas strategically, resolution of those miseries is wished, and those miseries are described here, right, in the Yad clause, by which a person is bound. By them, I like by which a person is bound. So the resolution of those miseries by which a person is bound is wished. You could say it, if you want to say by which a person is bound, comma, resolution of those miseries is wished. You can say that too, but notice how they use commas. The comma describes what is before the comma. So this whole phrase is telling you what is before the comma. So there's a question. To make the sentence clear, can we add taihi to the tad clause? And so we can say taihi upashamaha ishyate. So notice how the tad clause is sixth case, right? So we already have a tad in that second clause. So it's the resolution of those desires. If it were to say taihi upashamaha ishyate, it would say resolution by those. Resolution is desired by that. Now that can be a fine sentence, but that's a totally different sentence. Okay, that's just a different sentence, which is fine. You can do that too, but then it won't be. Maybe it won't be an adjective to dukkhanam, right? It can stand for something else. So I would say the key to these yad tad clause is to just be patient, right? So go for the yad clause or tad clause, whatever you want to do first. Take the verb, go to the first case, then go right to left. Use the skills that we learned before. Right? Then translate the yad clause. Then go to the tad clause. Start with the verb, go to the first case, then go right to left, like we've been doing. And then you can put them together, right? So it's just longer sentences that are more involved. Oftentimes you can put the yad clause in commas after the tad clause when you're translating in English. Right? So tad clause, commas, and then the verb of the yad clause. Or sorry, verb of the tad clause. Keep a lot of slips of tongue today. Any questions so far, other than the ones in the chat? Okay, so our time is up. That went much faster than I wanted to. Just quickly, this last one, number 8, we won't look at all of it in detail, but, right? Tat patami. Patami, I study, or I read, I study that. I study or read that. Yasmin prakarane, in which subject matter or in which subject there are mahavakyas. So I study that in which subject there are Mahavakyas. So that's just another example of Yat and Tat. So Yat and Tat, they don't have to be the same case. Okay? All right, so let me stop sharing this. Okay, we'll take a 5-minute break. We can come back at 8:10 and we'll get started with our Vedanta class. You can let me know if you have any questions in between, okay? Well,